Hey everybody, welcome back to the Forge. This is Scott, and today we're going to go over how to build a Chaos deck. It's going to be a Chaos Archaon deck, and the theme that I want to have is a sort of Wizard Chaos burn deck. That's the theme that I want to go for, and I'm going to show you how to build that deck today, and we're going to build it together, really. So I wanted to have Archaon in my deck because he is a warrior wizard. And because he's got that wizard tag, he's going to be perfect for the style deck that I'm trying to make. And every time he removes a guy, he draws a card. Every time he removes a highlighted spell, I get to get a spell back to my hand from my discard pile. And surprisingly, guys, rotating Archaon is not that hard. So we're going to be able to also get off on our blessings. Giggity. So here we go. I think I want to start off with the other champions. We have a few champions to choose from. A really cheap wizard, because this is 13, so 13 plus 4 is 17. So we only got 3 to work with, guys. I've already kind of picked these 2 out. 2 cost, 1 cost. Obviously anything that's just too expensive is not going to work with Archaon. These 8s, 4s, 6s, things like that are just not going to work with them. So I'm going to go ahead and put this guy here and this guy here, and those are the guys that we're going to use. Next up is going to be the blessings. I am picking a different blessing lineup than I normally would. However, I'm still using some of the staples like Chaos Runeblade, which just does a lot of damage on each of its rotations for a heroic act. I'm going to use Wanton Destruction. This deck is a lot more controlling, so I'm going to need to deal a lot of damage in a short period of time, but I also have Tzeentch's Fortune to make some of my spells do a ridiculous amount of damage. And you're going to see how I used a card called Summon Demon, and it does 1 damage, but with Tzeentch's Fortune I was able to do 5 with it. The next card here is Bathe in Blood. When a highlighted ally removes a unit, gain 2 health. That's another big unit or card that I like to use, because we are going to be removing a lot of cards in this deck. And in my Patreon, I'm going to show you another deck list that's similar to this, but it revolves around a different champion being able to spin and flip over very quickly, and that's Murakar Blood Sky. And I think I'll be able to flip her on turn 2 or turn 3 just by playing dudes that kill dudes. So she's going to do a lot of rotations all at once. And if you want to see that video, guys, go ahead and go to my Patreon. It's going to be up probably the day after, and then you'll see that after, day after this gets published. So next up, we're going to go and pick our units. Here are my unit choices here. I decided to go ahead and pick Blood Fury Wraithmonger. He does quite a bit of damage. He does 6 damage. Unfortunately, he does 3 to yourself. But we are going to put Mystic Shield in our deck, which is going to reduce some of the damages that we take, because we do have 2 wizards to cast those spells. The Last Stand, remove a highlighted unit. So you're going to see how this card is going to have synergy in the deck in removing units. Now, if this guy's in front of Archaon and he gets removed, Archaon is also going to draw us a card. So he's going to be really powerful in our deck. And he also rotates Archaon one step forward on his first rotation. Another card I'm going to pick is this card right here, this little Blood Reaver. He's good at removing our own guys to trigger their Last Stand effects. And then also, when he gets to this corner, he does 3. And he's really short, so he leaves the board soon. We have Slashing Screamer, a nice staple for most Chaos decks. It's going to deal 5 over time, but also does 1 to ourself, reduced by Mystic Shield. And then do a heroic act, 1 damage to yourself, remove the highlighted unit in front of it. So that is going to help us out, again, with Archaon and with some of our effects. And you're going to see where that combo, so make sure you watch this to the end, and you're going to see that combo. The next unit I like is Pink Horror Conjurer. It's a demon, and you're going to see how that combos. So keep watching, like I said, and you're going to see how these cards combo. And it makes our spells a lot stronger by 2 on this corner and 3 on this corner. And it does 5 damage over that time. Next up is the Twisting Screamer. This card will reduce damage by 1 on the highlighted enemies. Just a very good defensive card when we need it. And again, you're going to see how we turn this deck also into a toolbox. So we're not going to need 3 of these. When I go down to shaving cards to try and be on our 30 card limit, we will be taking a couple of those out. Let's see. This is a card that I wanted to put in, but it can go in. I didn't put it in this version, but its last stand does 2 damage because you are killing your own guys, and it's going to do 4 Ren damage over time. So I did like that card. Same thing with this guy here. It does 2 damage. He's going to do 6 over time. Unfortunately, he'll do 2 to yourself. And then here's another good demon, but he just wasn't good enough to make the cut. And we have these other demons, but they didn't really fit the deck, and we have other creatures. There's another version, like in the Valkyria or Marakar Blood Sky deck, where we are going to use the Acolytes, especially this one here, the Volkark Acolyte, and it's going to allow us to do some, pretty cool things. Actually, no, it's this one right here, the Scroll Bearer. It's going to allow us to use wizard abilities. And wizard abilities, as you're going to see, are extremely powerful. So you're going to see those in just a second. Not in this deck, but again, on the deck in my Patreon. I already have somebody that's subscribed, so they are getting that content currently all to themselves. So if you guys want to join in, now I'm going to start going into the spells, and you're going to start seeing how these cards are comboing with each other. First off, we have Rejoice in the Slaughter. Very, very underrated card, guys. Underrated. I don't think you understand how good this card is. Now, I think a few of you know. I saw one guy ask a question about this card to see how it works. And yes, you will be drawing lots of cards, and there is no hand size limit. So, whenever a highlighted ally removes a unit, draw cards. So, you're going to see how you're going to be drawing lots of cards. You're going to play this with one of your wizards, and then you're going to have like a Slashing Screamer, or you're going to play this from your hand, and a highlighted ally removes a unit. It doesn't say whose unit or whatever, just removes a unit. Not a highlighted unit, just a unit. So, kill something with an ally, draw 2 cards. It's going to be really awesome. The next unit, or the next card spell I'm going to pick is Summon Demon. Damage to your opponent. Like I said, with the Tzeentch's Fortune, I once did 5 damage with this. Once you get to here, you will go through your hand or your discard pile and put the demon unit onto that champion, even if it's a wizard. So with Archaons, it's not an issue, but Iridescent Horror will then be able to summon a guy if he casts this spell. Alright, so that allows us to bring some of our guys back. And then to tutor from the deck, we have Infernal Gateway. That's going to allow us to go get the guy demon from the deck, and then put it on to an ally either to the left or right of the champion that casts the spell. Another card that I like is Blue Flame. However, it didn't make the cut. Instead, I chose to use Arcane Bolt. And I know using a generic card over a specific Grand Alliance card is a little strange, at least to me it is. It's just that card did 2 more damage than this. However, this could do 10 to your opponent. It says damage to your opponent, and then damage to your opponent when the highlighted champion plays a card or uses a heroic act. It's just that when you play this card, they're likely not going to play a card or use a heroic act until this card goes away. Now, sometimes in certain situations, this card is more powerful, and you are going to want this card instead of Arcane Bolt. So don't get twisted, guys. This card is extremely powerful, and there are certain cases where you're going to want this instead, and maybe more cases. But time will tell. Right now, I picked that one because it has more just raw damage than this one. But this is a very powerful card. I'm going to put those to the side. We're not going to be playing Hellblast or Chaotic Restoration in this version. We just don't have enough wizards. There's another deck that I'm working on that I will post where I'm trying to make it more wizards. It's basically playing 2 Iridescent Horrors and, just the cheapest wizards we can get, like Gaunt Summoner and things like that, even though Gaunt Summoner's effect really isn't all that helpful to us. in a wizard deck, pure wizard deck. However, these are the cards that I've chosen. Now I'm going to go on to the abilities. So the abilities that I want is obviously Blood Hunt. Blood Hunt removes a highlighted spell or unit, gain a health. I don't think there's any downside to this. It's just a really good card, guys. This is Chaos's, generic removal ability. I'm gonna put that over here. We have Gift of Change. There's a lot of text on this card, guys, but don't be discouraged. This is one of the best cards in the deck. When a wizard uses this ability, remove a highlighted unit. If a unit was removed, deploy one demon unit from your hand or deck. So you are going to tutor with this card by killing one of your own guys. Okay? That is amazing because we have last stand effects. And then if Archaon uses this card, he's drawing a card. Guys, he's replacing his cards. And when you have Rejoice and Slaughter, I have already done a playtest game where I drew 3 cards. Iridescent Horror played this. Archaon played this. There was already a guy on the field. He removed the unit, got himself a demon, and then we drew 3 cards. All right. So it was looked like this. So I still had another action, but we could have also done this in the same turn. So you're gonna see how powerful that is. Hopefully in the Goldfish you get to see that, and I'll make sure you will. Another card I was thinking about is Furious Strike. Just a really good generic damage ability. So for every one of your guys that are disengaged, you're going to do an additional damage on the generic one. So this card is just going to straight up, be able to unlock our ability effects. We have 3 guys where their quest rotation is on an ability on the top right hand corner, and this card is going to help us do that. So we're going to save that card just for rotation. We're really not going to use that card for anything else. The rest of these cards, guys, we're not going to use right now. Some of the other cards are also more combo. I did want to put Demonic Fury in because it does just do that straight up 5 damage. However, I chose not to because Archaon doesn't have any abilities that he doesn't rotate on abilities. He only has 1 damage corner that will allow him to rotate with this. So I just chose not to use it to make space in the deck. Okay. So as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 play sets. That's 33 cards. We're going to need to shave 3 cards. And like I said, we are going to take out some of these Twisting Screamers like this. And I do want to take out some other cards. Infernal Gateway. It's really good when you have 1 of them, but every time you draw more than 1, because it takes so long to get off the field, you do get diminishing returns. So I will just play with 1. I'm also going to shave Summon Demon. The reason why we're shaving so many cards, guys, is because I want to put some Mystic Shields into the deck. Okay, I'm going to make some room. Mystic Shield. And I want to play Arcane Bolt. Let's see, I think we're still over by a card. So I took 5 out. 1, 2. So we are going to need to take out some more cards, guys. This guy I'm going to take out. I think we have this ability too much already. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and take out a Pink Horror. I don't think we're going to need too many of those at once. And let's see how many we got now. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 full play sets. 9. 10. So I think that's all the cards. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Oh, we have 2 more cards. So we're going to have to shave a couple more cards, guys. I think some of the easier cards to shave will be this card here. Just because our field is going to be busy, so we're not going to need so many of these. And I got to shave 1 more card, and I think it'll just be another one of these. Alright, so I think that's pretty fair. What we're going to do is we're going to shuffle up and do a Goldfish. What's up, guys? We are doing a Goldfish. So we're going to go and do a really quick Goldfish here, and that way you have a smaller, bigger, medium-sized idea of how the deck works. You can see what you want to change, what you want to add, and how the deck will play out against nothing. So here we go. We're going to draw our hand, and this hand is pretty bad. So we cannot get rid of it. We will keep it. We're pretending that we're going first. I'm just placing down some heroes right now. Obviously, you're going to want to place this guy against a wizard. It will reduce their damage by 2. But we don't know where we're placing them, so that's just how it's going to be. For my opening trick, I think that we're just going to need some time here. We don't know where they're playing guys. So obviously they're not going to play guys against Archaon. You know, we don't want to put the removal there yet. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw 2 cards, because if I play this guys, they just might decide to draw 2 cards too, and I've sort of wasted this card. And I've got no spells to cast with him, so it's just not going to help very much. We are going to go ahead and draw 2 cards and be reactive to what our opponent is doing. Alright, much better hand. The hand is now pretty darn good. So our opponent might have played a guy, maybe, and if he did, that's great, because then what I'm going to do is play Slashing Screamer against where he played that guy. If not, we're going to go ahead and play Mystic Shield to just go ahead and start our rotations, and then draw a card. Arcane Bolt, not a bad draw. That's going to come back to us. We're reducing damage. We've been reducing damage. That's good for us. We're going to go ahead and play some other cards to start, you know, changing what we want to do. What we're going to need to do is have Archaon play this card, removing one of our own creatures, and in doing so, we will be able to draw a card with Archaon, get a new demon. So, unfortunately, we don't have any last stand cards. So, what we're going to do is just play, let's see, a Slashing. I'm going to play a Twisting Screamer. I think that's one of our cards that we can afford to lose. Now, if he's doing damage over here, that's where we'll play it. We'll just pretend he's doing damage over here. So, we'll move that guy. And then next turn, we're going to see if we can combo off. We're going to use a Gift of Change next turn, but this turn we're just going to draw a card, because again, we are reducing damage, so we do have some time. It's going to come back to us, still reducing damage. This goes away. Alright. Looks like this does have Last Stand, so this would be a good card to use Gift of Change with. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put him here. It's going to rotate Archaon. We're going to deal 2 to them, deal 1 to ourselves. This is not going to save us right now. It's reduced damage from highlighted enemies. So if Arcane Shield was still there, we would not have taken any damage. We're going to use this to remove our guy. Because we did remove a guy, we are going to rotate. He is going to remove a highlighted unit. If there is one, that's great. So we'll remove their highlighted unit. Awesome. Draw a card. First we have to resolve the Gift of Change, so we're going to go get our demon. So it's 1 demon from your hand or deck. We'll see what kind of demon we want, guys. I do want a demon that doesn't last too long, so I'm not going to want this guy. I think, in fact, I'm just going to go ahead and take myself a Slashing Screamer. And that is going to deal damage quickly and rotate Archaon. So if we did kill a guy, that's great. We will draw a card. This here says when we remove an enemy. So removing our own guys is not going to innately trigger this ability. So when this champion removes a highlighted unit, so we got to remove one of their guys. So not one of our guys. But hopefully that unit did remove a guy. If it did, we'll just draw a card. It's very possible that our opponent's been playing around and did not do that. So we did play that ability. Did we play any other cards in that turn? I don't think so. So what we're going to do is then just play another unit somewhere. I think I'm going to head and just play this guy over here. That way Arcane Bolt in the future can do some more damage. So we'll see if that is how that plays out. Alright, we're done there. Let's come back to us. Still reducing damage in these 2 lanes. We are going to do 2 damage to them, 1 damage to us. That is going to rotate Archaon again, and then it's going to rotate the pink horror. So at this point, I do want to show you that combo, so I think I am going to make some plays where I just kind of draw some cards. I do want to show you the combo of how we can draw lots and lots and lots of cards. But anyways, I think the right play here anyways, if they had a guy, I would like to destroy it, but besides that, I think it would be better to go ahead and just draw 2 cards. Alright, here is our combo piece. Guys, we did it. So I'm going to show you how this works. It's going to come back around to us. This guy's going to go away. 3 to them, 1 to us. Increase the damage of our spells by 2. And again, guys, I'm going to show you this. It is increased damage done to your opponent from highlighted spells. So it is only going to help where he is, and then this one wizard. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to play our Rejoice in Slaughter. It's going to go here. And then if they had an opposing guy, this is going to be a perfect time to play Blood Hunt. So we're going to play Blood Hunt here. That's going to rotate him for having played the Blood Hunt. I know if I did that backwards, I could have rotated him twice, but I'm going to show you why I did that. Rejoice in Slaughter now says when a highlighted ally removes a unit, draw cards. This is an ally because he's under our control. He removed cards, so we're going to draw 2 cards, immediately replacing what just happened. So that's our 2 effects. This is going to rotate out, guys. This is going to go down to here, and then he's going to do 3 damage. It is our turn. We do have a demon to finally rotate our Archaon. Now, say they did place a guy in front of Archaon, and that's just completely the wrong play for them. Let me show you some really dumb effects you could do here. And you could do this in any other spot, but right here you're going to get extra effects. So we're going to play that. It is a demon, so it is going to turn this, and it is going to activate Wanton Destruction. So it's going to do 1 damage to them, 1 damage to us, and eventually do 14 to them. That's one action. Now the next action I can use is to kill their guy, and if I do that, guys, I'm going to use a heroic act to take 1 damage and kill the guy in front of this. That's going to allow me to draw 2 cards again. So that is great. And now because we killed their guy, you see here, their guy, not ours, that is red, in front of the white boxes. The white boxes where we are. I will then be able to draw another card. So there is a rules question here, so leave in the comments if I'm doing this wrong. But it says when this champion removes a highlighted unit. So the clarification that I need right now is if this champion's unit, I guess. I do want to clarify on that. So when our Slashing Screamer removes a guy, does that allow us to still draw a card through Archaon? So that's what I want to know. If not, then that's fine. Archaon's still good, but a little less good. So we drew those 2 cards. I mean, look at our hand right now. Obviously, we're going to then play another Rejoice. So if you open up with a Rejoice and you kill their guy, you're going to just start drawing more Rejoices. So 1 Rejoice is going to get your next Rejoice. You can draw multiple cards. So I can show you a theoretical play. So imagine if I had a Rejoice out here. Guys, we're just going to sort of restart the board. I think you kind of get the idea for some of it. But say we had that Rejoice, and our hand was Blood Hunt, and what's another good removal card? You know, Gift of Change, or Blood Wrath Fury, or something like that. So imagine if we had a Blood Wrath Fury already out on the field. You know, maybe it was here or something, and then we go, okay, well, I'm going to play this, and I'm going to then use Gift of Change to kill my guy. Like it says, when a highlighted ally removes a unit, anybody's unit, let me center the card, anybody's unit, that's going to remove this guy, okay, remove a highlighted unit. He's removed, he goes into limbo or whatever, this card's in limbo. Which is an actual mechanic in the game. Deploy 1 demon from your hand or deck onto the champion whose unit was removed. So, whatever, I'll get 1 from my deck, I'll get this guy, doesn't matter. I'm going to remove a guy. He's casting the ability, right? So it's going to do that. That's going to fully resolve. Okay. Now this guy is going to resolve while he's in limbo or on the field or whatever. You know, I'm sure a judge can tell me the exact steps and orders this works, and tell me if I'm doing it wrong, guys. That way you all don't think this is how it works. But it's going to go remove a highlighted unit. So it's going to remove a highlighted unit. This just keeps triggering. So I'm going to draw 2 from it, and then he's going to remove a guy. I'm going to draw 2 from it. Archaon removed a guy, so I'm going to draw another card. So, you know, I just drew 5 cards. I drew 2.5 turns worth of cards. You know, my opponent will have to spend 2 full turns to try and get that same number of cards. So, as you can see, once you start moving into Rejoice the Slaughter, that's why I think it's very underrated. Even if it doesn't work the way I think it works, it's still going to draw you plenty of cards. You might not get that extra card from Archaon or something, but you are going to get all those extra cards, and you're just not going to run out of cards. You're going to have so many cards in your hand. You will never have to spend actions to draw cards once you get the engine going, and that's going to be the hard part. But once you play that card, oh my gosh, the game is completely different than it used to be. So it's essentially cheating because you're getting all those free cards. Orcs likes to get free actions, and then they have to spend those actions to draw those cards. But again, as you saw, I could just draw 5 cards at once. You see how that is a huge game changer too. So I do appreciate you watching the video. If you like the video, just go ahead and give it a like. Give me a comment. Tell me if I made any mistakes. Tell me if any of the rules don't work the way they do. And go ahead and give me a subscribe, guys. So I appreciate it. And check out my Patreon for the other Chaos video. All right, thanks for watching.